The Justice Department threw an absolute bombshell into Donald Trump's continuing legal troubles, specifically with E. Jean Carroll. The rest of all of those different investigations continue. But they have now announced that the statements that he has made about E. Jean Carroll, particularly in 2019, they no longer consider them to have been delivered in his official capacity as president. And this is a reversal from their prior position that gives new momentum to this ongoing legal trouble for the president. Now, for many people, they might think that the original position of the DOJ made no sense, but here is what their initial position was. They had previously said that first during the Trump administration and later under President Biden, that Mr. Trump was acting in his official capacity when he called Ms. Carroll a liar and denied her accusation that he raped her nearly 30 years ago in a Manhattan department store dressing room. But they now say that new evidence has surfaced since he left office, including in the recent civil trial in which a Manhattan jury found Mr. Trump liable for sexually assaulting Ms. Carroll decades ago. Now that's already, that part of the investigation trial process is done. He owes her $5 million, although we will see if that number goes up. But here's the information that they seem to be talking about. The fresh set of facts suggests, quote, that Mr. Trump was motivated by a personal grievance stemming from events that occurred many years prior to Mr. Trump's presidency. Although the statements themselves were made in a work context, the allegations that prompted the statements related to a purely personal incident, an alleged sexual assault that occurred decades prior to Mr. Trump's presidency. Now, to win over people with the idea that Donald Trump might have been motivated by a personal grievance is gonna take some work, because he really doesn't seem like the sort of person that would operate in that way.
No.
But anyway, he is not shielded now. That had been sort of, I guess, one of the panic buttons lurking in the background, the idea that the DOJ might stay out of this or might actually proactively help him. Apparently that is not gonna happen, Francesca.
I mean, add it to the pile. Throw it on the pile, like, okay, sure, good. I mean, look, if nothing else, I think it shows that, especially after losing this case, I mean, not completely, not found guilty on every single charge, but sexual abuse he was found guilty of. Again, this is the supposed leader of a cult who's going to free us of all sexual abusers, right. But like, it shows that at least the DOJ is taking this seriously, and they're not going to kind of parse the crimes when it comes to Donald Trump, who is still a political figure, who is still a potential menace. And to me, honestly, as a woman, and for many people out there who are survivors, it's like, yeah, this is a serious crime that he was convicted of, and he keeps on running his mouth when it comes to the defamation stuff. He keeps on putting her in harm's way, and so, yeah, I'm glad that there could be further investigation into this. Again, we've seen that Donald Trump's crimes, it's not that he commits the crime, it's that he continues, whether it's refusing to give over classified information, documents that he has, whether it's the defamation, it's like he just layers them on, right? It's a 7-layer dip of crime.
Yeah. It's disgusting. I would say my metaphor would be slightly more rancid. 7-layer dip that's been like sitting in the back alley behind the restaurant where it's normally served.
Yeah.
And even rats and the occasional possum are turning their nose up to it at this point because of the sheer amount of rot. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.